Now we will have a public hearing to consider a resolution approving the sale of an EDA lot at 5607 Zane Avenue North to Novak-Fleck for construction of a new single-family home. And I believe we have a presentation by Mr. Sutter.
Thank you, President Parsons. This is a lot that you saw a month ago at the preliminary approval of the house plan. The lot is at 5607 Zane Avenue North. This was formerly addressed as 5900 56th Avenue North, aka the late fourplex from last fall. Tonight's public hearing is to consider the sale of the lot to Novak-Fleck for construction of a new single-family home, and the lot price is $55,000. So this is the location of the property, again at the northwest corner of Zane and Bass Lake Road, or 56th Avenue. The house plan is the same one that you've seen in other locations on Crystal lots. It's very similar to one they just built and sold at 5209 49th, except this one does not have the third garage stall, whereas that one did. It's also somewhat similar to the plan you just approved, kind of a mirror image of the plan you just approved across Bass Lake Road to the south, except that one also will have a 3-car garage. This house, because of the narrower lot width, cannot really accommodate a 3-car garage, but it will be an oversized 2-car. So again, this front elevation may be familiar to you, as you've seen it in other properties in Crystal recently. The upstairs will have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and an open living, dining, kitchen area. The 2-car garage I mentioned before. The lower level will be unfinished, at least at this time, but there will be space to finish multiple rooms, including bedroom or bedrooms, a bathroom, and a very large rec room or family room. So with that, after you have the public hearing, we are asking that you consider the resolution that would approve the sale of the lot to Novak-Fleck. They expect to close as soon as possible and start construction as soon as possible.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I will now open the public hearing. And seeing no one approach, I will now close the public hearing. And now looking for a motion to approve this resolution. Julie.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution, but I do have a quick question for John.
Go for it.
Because that lot has been, somebody is, I'm assuming the city has put a lot of dirt just in big mounds on that lot.
Yeah.
Is that going to be like smoothed out anytime soon, or?
I'm going to go to the aerial
It's
here
not
real
real
quick.
attractive.
Yeah, so some of you may have noticed the piles of fill material. That's actually us being a little presumptive, but the builder is going to need to bring in fill to that site. And we allowed them to bring in excess fill from the new homes being built on Douglas Drive, where they're trying to get rid of granular material, and allowed them to import it to our property pending the sale of the lot. So we're working with the 2 different builders, actually, in 2 different sites to try to make the dirt balance out, and that helps reduce their costs, reduce unnecessary costs.
Any other questions? All right, looking forward. Jim.
I'll second that motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. And motion passes. Now on to item number 5, consider acceptance of the 2017 EDA Annual Report. And I think we had a presentation on this, so I don't know if we want to just hit the highlights.
Yes, Madam President, since you've all seen this before, this is mainly just for public review, but if you approve this tonight, we will put it on the website so the public can view it at their convenience. But we do this once a year to kind of review what we did in the previous year. So start with scattered site lot sales. We sold 5 lots in 2017. The average lot price was $55,000. 4 of them were in the vicinity of 49th Avenue and County Road 81 or Bottineau Boulevard, and the 5th one was at 5924 Elmhurst. All of those homes have now been completed and sold. I won't get into all the history here, but the big gap you see in the middle of this chart, That's basically the housing bubble bursting and the crash that followed. And so I tend to kind of ignore everything on the left-hand half of that chart because it was kind of an era of unreality. But starting in 2010, we sort of had more of a normal market, although with strong price appreciation. And the chart just shows what the lot prices have been doing, what the new home prices have been doing for the homes built on our EDA lots, and then basically adjusted for inflation, apples to apples, what are those home values like, which is the green line. This chart illustrates how the city or the Economic Development Authority has responded to changes in the housing market. This is each year. The red columns show how many blighted homes we acquired and demolished, and the green columns show how many lots that we sold. The reason that we have about 50 more lots than blighted homes demolished is because we have other redevelopment sites where we got more than just one lot out of them. Thorson Addition up in Ward 4 had 17 lots. So, there's sometimes where we have a large group of lots. But basically, in the last several years, you can see a lot of green and almost no red. That is because in a strong market, we have been selling many of the lots that we purchased during the crash and selling them into the recovery. And so that's why you've seen a lot of lots being sold for new home construction and not very many acquisitions. The home improvement rebate program is something we've been doing for over 15 years, almost 20 years now. I won't get into all the particulars of the program because we'll talk about it more with the work program for 2018. But we had 84 rebates in 2017, which is consistent with prior years. Total expenditures for the program were $167,000. That's actually higher than we've had in prior years. The average rebate was about $1,600, and the average project size was $14,000. And the green bars on the right-hand side are the 4 quarters of 2017. So you can see we had quite a surge in interest in the program towards the end of the year in terms of when we actually paid out the rebates. Deferred home improvement loans is a program that is ongoing, and there is a waiting list for it. It's targeted at lower-income homeowners, and we have 5 projects that were completed in 2017 at a total cost of $141,000. This is a program the city participates in, but it's really administered by the county and it uses federal funds. The quiet zone. Most of you have already known about this because you have heard about it or not heard the horns. This has been up and running for a little over 3 months. We have almost perfect compliance with the train horn rule. For the benefit of the public who might be thinking, I hear train horns, I thought they were all supposed to go away. There are other sources of train horns that you're still going to hear. There are train horns on other tracks like the BNSF that roughly parallels 81, County Road 81. That has 1 or 2 trains a day, and for whatever reason, they seem to be louder than they used to be. And there are a lot of grade crossings in Crystal and the adjacent cities. So there are a lot more opportunities where it's necessary for them to blow their horns. And so that's the source of probably the most common horns that we're still hearing. There are some other adjacent tracks in other cities, but bottom line is the vast majority of the train horns have been silenced because of the quiet zone that the EDA did in 2017. We've already talked about the fourplex with the previous item. We did come in under our estimated expenditures for that project. It was acquired in May of 2017, and we completed demolition after relocating the tenants in November 2017. Other things we did in 2017 is you may have noticed the new neighborhood signs around the city featuring the city flag. And we also have replaced the very old and worn out entry signs at the driveway approaches to the City Hall campus. We also used EDA funds for blight removal, which is the demolition of old park buildings at Broadway and Crystal Highlands parks. In those cases, the EDA paid for cash costs related to that, like getting the dumpsters and so forth, getting asbestos testing. But the Public Works Department provided the in-kind labor and equipment to do those demolitions. And then finally, just a quick review of city property, city-owned properties of all types, not just EDA property. An overall thing here with these 3 slides is the dark blue. These are lots that going into 2018, so at the end of 2017, we were trying to sell. Well, here we are a quarter of the way, not even a quarter of the way into the year, and all 5 of those lots that are in the dark blue either are sold, one of those was tonight, or we expect will be sold within a couple of months. So one of the things that we're going to do is look at some of these other EDA properties that for various reasons are more challenging to sell and see now with the market being as strong as it is, if now is the opportunity to move some more of those light blue properties that we've been holding to the dark blue category and try to sell them. So that's something we're going to be working on in 2018. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions from the commission. And like I said, if you accept this tonight, then we will put it on the website.
Thank you, John. Any questions or discussion? All right, it looks like we're looking for a motion to approve the 2017 EDA Annual Report. Julie?
I will make a motion to accept the 2017 annual report.
All right, looking for a second.
I'll second.
Jeff, excellent. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. And motion passes. Now on to number 6, consider approval of the 2018 EDA Work Program.
All right, thank you again. And again, because you've seen this before, I'll try to just hit the highlights. And this will go out on the website as well if you adopt this tonight. So the first, looking ahead for 2018, what we're working on, some of these things are already happening, as we discussed earlier. But we're going to continue with our scattered site lot sales. 4 weeks ago, you approved the sale of 5573 Zane. Tonight, you approved the sale of 5607 Zane. And within less than 2 hours of us putting the proposal packets out for 5612 and 5618 Adair, we had proposals on both of those lots, one from Novak-Fleck and one from Tolber. So you will be seeing those coming up in another meeting soon, and then the public hearing, and then the lot sale will occur probably in late May or early June. So we won't even be halfway through the year, and all the lots that we had of these 5 will have been sold. We're continuing with home improvement grants. The program is a little different. The maximum household income number is 110% instead of 120%, but it still will accommodate most households in Crystal. We've budgeted $185,000 for that. Almost all that is available increment from a housing TIF district that we have to use for affordable housing preservation activities, and that's why we have the income limit. It's administered by Center for Energy and the Environment, but it is not limited to energy-related improvements. A wide range of home improvement projects would be eligible. The Community Fix-Up Fund is another program administered by CEE. Has the same maximum income limit because, again, we're using TIF funds. We are also going to seek a state match. In the past, for I think the last 6 years, they have matched us dollar for dollar in the interest rate buy-down funding for that program, so we will try to get that again for another 2-year cycle. And then I already mentioned the deferred home improvement loans. Those programs are that program is still available, but now we don't have our own allocation. We're part of the consolidated pool for cities that don't get a big enough allocation to get their own, and that will actually hopefully reduce the number of people on the waiting list because the consolidated pool is much larger, and Crystal is one of the communities with the greatest demand. Again, this is targeted at the very low-income homeowner, usually those who are elderly or disabled. Bass Lake Road streetscape. We've talked about this quite a bit. This is reconstructing the streetscape on the north side of Bass Lake Road from the BNSF rail corridor west to approximately where Hampshire Avenue would be. This is a project that we are going out for bid right now. We were going to have the bid opening and the award on the 20th of March. We've had to push that back a couple weeks because of some tweaks to the design, but we are on track for bid award on April 3rd, I believe is the date of the next meeting. Construction would begin in May or June, substantial completion by end of July or before frolics, and then final completion in September. We're also going to completely redo the roadway lighting. We're going to retrofit the existing lights that are there with LEDs on both sides of Bass Lake Road, again from the rail corridor to where Hampshire Avenue would be. And that should dramatically improve lighting and a sense of security in that area. And here are some illustrations of basically what the final design of that streetscape project looks like. We're paying for it through a grant from Hennepin County. We have available increment from a commercial TIF district that's expired, and then some funds from the streetlight utility and from the EDA fund balance. Open to Business is a new initiative that the city has joined. It's a partnership with the county, and all of our adjacent cities also are involved in this. It's a way to try to help people start their own businesses, or if they have their own businesses, to help those businesses grow kind of organically. We're trying to do an all-the-above economic development strategy. It's not all about big companies or big employers. I mean, more and more people are becoming self-employed, and this is a way for them to have the technical resources that they might not otherwise have access to. And the cost to the EDA is very low, only $3,750 a year. A new program that we are starting in 2018 is a way for people to finance fire sprinkler improvements at no cost, or excuse me, at no interest cost. They would have to pay the funds back, but we would not charge interest, and there are various limitations relative to the size of the property or the value of the property to ensure that the owner has enough incentive to maintain the payments. But the idea here is that obviously we want to prevent loss of life, but also fire sprinklering requirements seem to be kind of holding back some potential new users in our existing older commercial buildings, and we want to try to provide a way forward for new users to revitalize those buildings. It's hard to expect someone to put a lot of money into an old commercial building when the fire sprinkling requirement is such a large part of the cost of renovating that building. So we want to do something that will have minimal risk to the EDA, but also will provide an incentive to the property owner. A couple community image enhancement projects that we're going to work on this year. The first one is really easy. Our public works crews are going to remove the Welcome to Crystal sign that you may or may not have ever noticed right on the south side of the Burger King property at Broadway and Douglas Drive. This was kind of an opportunity. We had an opportunity to put a sign somewhere. That was the somewhere. We didn't really have any other place to put one. Well, that was over 20 years ago. That sign has kind of outlived its purpose, and it's failing. It's structurally falling apart. So we either need to repair it or remove it. Well, let's just remove it. It's in the middle of Crystal, not the edge. But with that in mind, we do want to try to do something with standardized entry signage featuring our new logo or flag or other things that would be a more modern look and serve a better purpose by being at the entrance points to the city. And we may incorporate it in with some landscaping or beautification. The possible locations we're going to look at is the median on 36th Avenue between Highway 100 and Welcome Avenue. There's a giant sheet of concrete there. You probably have noticed that. And it seems like a good place to do something different than a giant sheet of concrete. And then possibly also, if we could get the property owner's agreement, that northeast corner of Douglas Drive and Medicine Lake Road. And once we kind of get the designs together and know the costs and everything, then we can talk about, okay, can we do this? Can we replicate this at other main entrance points to the city? Marketing, we are going to do a brochure this year. We may probably have two versions, one targeted at potential residents, one targeted at potential businesses. We have a good story to tell, and we need to make time in 2018 to tell that story. Business recruitment is something we get asked about a lot. I think people have because they know what, say, cities in greater Minnesota will do. In the metro area, most businesses know where they want to be. So, having business recruitment really isn't necessarily an effective strategy. Now, that said, we will work with local social media groups with technical assistance and other things to help them recruit businesses, make them aware that they're wanted here in terms of a particular restaurant or something like that. But we at the city have to be careful because there are other competing businesses, and we don't want to make it look like we're favoring new businesses over the existing ones. But certainly the citizens can choose to do that if there's a particular restaurant or business that they want to have come to Crystal. What we are going to do is when we see a vacant property, reach out to particular business uses that might be a good fit for that. I've already mentioned open to business. Being a small city, city staff is accessible and responsive, and we have implemented a number of city code changes to make it easier to do business here in Crystal. 42nd Avenue is something that we are going to start working on this year. We are going to do a feasibility study of undergrounding the overhead utilities and improving modernized street lighting to see if we can put something together for 2019 construction. This corridor has an outsized negative impact on Crystal's image, and we've sort of been waiting for something else to happen here. We've been waiting for redevelopment to occur. We've been waiting for the county to reconstruct the roadway. The opinion is that we can't wait any longer. We need to do something with the appearance of that corridor, and we can't continue to wait for redevelopment or the county to do something with it. So looking ahead with the budget cycle, we have about a $3.3 million cash balance forecast for the end of 2018. That's going to drop by about $1.1 million because of the funds being put into the new Becker Park, which will sort of be our town square now. But then it sort of bottoms out there at just over $2 million. We expect that the fund balance will be, once it does that big drop because of the Becker Park project, will still be just over $2 million. So the EDA has the cash to undertake projects and also to cash flow projects. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have, and we would ask your approval of the work program for 2018.
Nancy?
Question, John, on the Open to Business program. Have you had any inquiries yet? I know it's very new. We just started promoting it and talking about it, but...
I actually wouldn't know because they wouldn't. The Open to Business group is a private nonprofit that works, so they wouldn't necessarily let us know unless there was a particular city-related question. But they are going to provide us with updates periodically. It's just that because we just got started, they haven't done that yet. But we'll certainly let you know what the usage is, because I mean, when we come to budget time for 2019-2020, you're going to want to know about the effectiveness and the demand for the service.
Yeah, there's a resident on the north side who's starting up her own business, helping seniors stay in their homes. And this is the perfect opportunity for her to help build it, plan it, and grow it. So I appreciate that. I've already forwarded the information to her, but those I've talked to are very excited about it.
Well, that's really great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Questions or more discussion? All right, looking for a motion to approve the 2018 EDA Work Program. Julie?
I will move move approval for the work program for the 2018.
Excellent. Looking for a second. Nancy?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. And now to other business, number 7. Any other business? Seeing no other business, moving to number 8, adjournment. Someone make a motion to adjourn. Excellent. Looking for a second.
Second I motion.
And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Excellent. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.